The term gentrification refers to processes by which higher income or higher status people relocate to or invest in low-income urban neighborhoods. In doing so, they inflate property values, displace low-income people, and fundamentally alter the culture and character of the neighborhood.
Feels like an eerie sense of something ain't quite right, but how do I put my finger on it when it keeps slipping from my grasp? How identify what keeps disappearing like a floorboard slipped from under your feet, then the whole room, then the whole house, then all of a sudden, brand new floorboard, brand new house, but no more you.
Business get pushed out. And even for residential, I can see that every time I talk to customers, they say getting harder and harder to live in Chinatown because the rent keep going up.
I was getting in the elevator in my building one day, and I live on the 49th floor, and the lower half of the building is lower income housing floors. A woman and her little boy is about maybe 2 years old, each African American, they press 14. And he said, wow, you live all the way up there? And I was like, yeah, I do. And he said, well, I live down here. And then at that point, I didn't know what to say. Like, I could have said, oh, cool. But then I was thinking about, oh, well, the mother knows that I don't think it's cool.
My mentor always told me, it's okay, it's not your fault if you're born poor. But it is your fault if you die poor. Me coming from here, I didn't know that.
I thought that being here, the cops are picking on us because we're black, this is happening because we're black, but understand that it's not racism here. It's classism. They don't care about what color you are, it's the fact that you don't have what they have.
The neighborhoods that are gentrifying across the country are disproportionately occupied by Black and brown people. Thus, Black and brown people are disproportionately being displaced. And typically, they're being displaced by the influx of white people. This dynamic, you can imagine, causes all sorts of tensions.
I live on the second floor, but I live all the way in the back. So one day I'm coming out with my friend, and these two girls stay all the way in the front, and they seen us walking. They slammed the door, locked it, and put a chain on it. And I heard it. I'm like, wow, are you serious right now?
Upside gentrification, more police presence, better public schools, the garbage is gonna be picked up. But there's a downside. I'm not gonna make a generalization, but in many cases, when people move in, they have this Christopher Columbus syndrome, which I talked about in Nelson George's film documentary. There's a great tradition and heritage in Harlem, in Fort Greene and Bed-Stuy. You just can't come in like blowing up the spot, like you've been there forever.
Nice job, Emma-Mae. Uncle Ben, we sure do appreciate your service. Just so happens it's not needed around here anymore, but your kids. Your kids can stay. We've got a nice shiny new building to teach them in where they can learn all about our predecessors like Marco Polo and Christopher Columbus. So one day, when they grow up, they may not always know when we're gonna show up, but they'll always know us when we get here.
Community built, Chinatown. And now that because of all this influx of luxury development, we're being pushed out.
Morris Park in Harlem. For years, these brothers have played African drums on Sunday morning. Now, they're gone.
Well, think of it this way. If in many New York City neighborhoods, there are pockets of protected units, which we would refer to as rent-controlled units or rent-stabilized units. In those few units, people can actually remain in place. So exclusionary displacement then refers to The sense of isolation that people feel when their family and friends have been displaced. Their social network may be eroded, although they can remain in place. The sense of isolation people feel from the influx of high-end restaurants and boutiques that they can't afford. When talking, blogging, tweeting about gentrification, understanding it's a social justice problem means not using glib comments like, well, neighborhoods always change. Right? This is not a natural process.
In the prior waves of gentrification and change that happened on the West Side, always the new residents have integrated into the neighborhood. This is different. This is trying to create a new identity for what our neighborhood is.